over the syllabus, and if you have a computer and you bring it in, or your iPhone and you want to pull it up, you certainly can. My teaching style. What was I doing? After you did that for 10 minutes, what did I do? Go ahead, say again. Constructivism. Some people have had me before. What is the study of constructivism? How does a constructivist teacher teach? What was I doing there? Asking a lot of open-ended questions, is trying to get your knowledge and understanding. So my style of teaching is constructivist, which might be important to note. So going over the syllabus, I'm a constructivist-based teacher. Now for the folks who's teaching this online, it'll be a little more difficult for them to do, but I actually tried to have some of them do the demonstration before the Tuesday class. But class conversation will be important. My style of teaching is I like to know what you know first so I can teach you things. That's the idea. I'm not a lecturer type of person for the Thursday class. So the basic idea here is you can read the credit hours. Basically, it's Tuesday. I'll be here by 11 o'clock. It's very important to note, though, if you actually want to have a face-to-face visit with me, you need to email me, because I am also doing some work at Murphy-Deming this semester. And so if they set up appointments, so if you want to come in during these hours, make sure you email me beforehand and we set it up and I tell you when I'm free, as the case may be. So with that information, this might go under, you might have this. One of the big things you're going to do in my class, so we've got the assignments, so the course description, basically two types of assignments, actually one type of assignment, detailed outlines. Every 2 weeks, you're going to be asked to basically write up and have a detailed outline that you share with me, that you're going to post, and you're going to get points. There will be no tests in this class. And so right now, what are you doing with your papers and pencils and pens? You're writing notes. How are notes different? Let me just make sure I've got everything on here. How are notes different than writing up an outline? Go ahead.
Notes are kind of like shorthand. They're not really professional. And then an outline is fleshed out.
Yeah, in an outline you really write out the details. You have Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. You can write out little stories, little information. So if you just have notes, you won't get as much on the grading of this thing, because you might have the content, but the structure will be all wrong. Somewhere in here I think I put the basic idea is these will be generally due on either Monday or Tuesday before we meet for the class, and you'll have one chance to basically post your best draft of an outline the Saturday before. So we have kind of 2 weeks here, so the information from today, you're writing notes, you'll be able to listen to the acoustics, process it again, and just write. In fact, I'll even give you a statement here to start off your outline. Start it off with syllabus information. So Roman numeral number 1 will be syllabus information, even though it's second in the verbal here. So the syllabus, the basic idea is detailed outlines between the in-class discussion. On Thursdays, the basic idea is they gave me a break, so I don't have to drive up from Roanoke twice a week. That on Thursdays, I basically make acoustic YouTubes. I used to just record with my recorder and upload those, but YouTubes are a lot more cost-effective for the institution. And so on Thursday, I know this week for Thursday, since this is kind of a biologically based class, I'm going to actually have a handout, and it's going to kind of go over neuroscience with you, how an action potential works, how a neuron works, and you're basically going to be asked to write a good outline of that. The other really important thing, and your textbook will be integrated into that, when you write these things out, it's going to be very important to write these things out in your own words. I don't want just kind of copy and pasted things in there, but that's kind of the nature. So you'll basically be doing these through the semester. We start for the first 4 weeks of the semester on vision. There'll be an outline due on January 21st. And then another one on February 4th. We'll cover different aspects of vision in the first 2 weeks, separate aspects of vision in the next 2 weeks. Then we move on to acoustics, and an outline will be due on February 12th and then March 1st. Spring break, and then after that, touch, olfaction, and taste. They might all be grouped into one and one outline there, and then I haven't quite figured out what we're going to do for the last week or two, but I shall, on the nature of what's going on here, because I've been teaching sensation and perception for about 15 years, but never as a hybrid where people have it online only, because most of the time sensation and perception, you have to actually do the demonstrations in class so people can see these things. You guys have any questions about what you're going to be doing? So there'll be no test. What's the main thing you're going to be doing? Outlines. And your outlines can have some details to them. I'm not just looking for bit pieces. So, if you want to draft, you'll have one chance to draft. And then you'll have to send me an email. You'll post your draft on Blackboard. And then you'll say whenever you want, can you take a look? But there'll only be kind of one crack for an outline on the information. If you listen to today's class or you write up the notes and you want to make sure you got a fact right or two, or if you were confused about something, you can just listen to the acoustics again with the YouTube situation. Any comments or questions about that? Does that make sense for folks? So Roman numeral number 1, it'll probably be syllabus-based information. Maybe you have an A, B, and C, and in your own words kind of say what's going on. Roman numeral 2 might be demonstrations, or the demonstration that both groups did. You guys were asked to talk in the dark for 10 minutes. I gave the online group, we have about 4 or 5 people in there. They were asked to write in a dark room or type on a keyboard. Could you actually read? So if we go back to the demonstration once again, kind of on the note way, can you actually read everybody's name tags now? Could you do that beforehand? Yeah, let's add a little bit more to, any other changes in visual perception? If people were typing in on keyboards, how do you think that was for people at first in a dark room? Pretty miserable task, I would anticipate. It got easier over time. You could kind of see a little more and hopefully have some visual perception of the room. So describe the 2 visual situations and kind of the analysis. It might be an A, B, C situation in your outline. And for these outlines, I'm not just looking for, some people just think outline, okay, brief little summary statement. You can actually have sentences and show me what you know in your own words. You can actually write some things out. If you want to send me a sample from today in an email, like, would this be kind of the right idea? I'd be very happy to embrace and engage in that situation to try to help you with that as it would be. So, without any questions for the online folks, if you guys have any questions, send me an email and I'll be happy to answer those as well. There will be no class participation points in this situation. I can't do class participation because we've got the online group, and there would be no real fair way of doing this for the online group and the face-to-face group. We kind of have the face-to-face group. If there ever is a bad weather day, are there bad weather days in wintertime? If there's a bad weather day on Tuesday and I can't make it up for Roanoke, or you can't make it up, what will happen? You can write this in your notes. Guess what will occur? I'll just make an acoustic recording and download it, and that'll be your assignment, and class will not be rescheduled for Thursday. It'll kind of turn all online, and in my online classes, which I've been doing down in Roanoke for about 10 years, this is kind of how we did it. You had a discussion for a week, and then I gave acoustic YouTubes, and you wrote up a detailed outline from that. Any other comments or questions in the class? Go ahead, please.
So we don't have a final exam or anything then?
There'll be no final exam in this class. I know that's probably very heartbreaking for most of you. I can already see the frowns in most people's faces. Maybe not. Go ahead, another question.
Credit?
Extra credit. No, there won't be any. Actually, probably the only extra credit will be, I think some of the senior students do research projects. If you do that, There will be an allocation for that situation, I guess, for the people face-to-face that will be available. I'll probably have to think about what I'm going to do for the online folks. I don't know, how many, have people done those experiments before? So how many credits do you get for doing that? How many points?
Or some of them are 0.5.
So you'll get a point, and if you do what, you might have an opportunity to do 3 or 4. So maybe it'll be up to me, and if you want to write in your outline. If you're in the online class and you have that opportunity and you find an article that you wish to review and critique, I'll probably establish something similar there as well. Good question. Other questions or comments?
So you said that we can submit a draft and you want it done on Blackboard, but whenever you go into like the outlines, like week 1 and week 2, it says you only have 1 attempt, so we don't want to let you upload.
I'll change that. Yes, thank you. And if you see things that I need to correct, please feel free to let me know. I should kind of be writing these things down, but it's the first day, so I kind of just want to look at all of you people and have things to say. Go ahead.
With the textbook, are you going to put that on reserve or anything, or?
I didn't do that last semester. Yeah, let me make a statement or two about the textbook. So I think I got an email from somebody. Can you have a previous version? We are on the 5th version now. What will basically happen is, like next week, your book has some specific pages on visual, like blindness issues, and if you're going into optometry, that kind of stuff. That's not the kind of stuff that I have a whole lot to say about, because I don't know a lot about it. I just know that my eyes, I need glasses now, and I read. So you'll be assigned specific book pages to read and look over. Is it normally the course that there is a book on reserve, a current version of the book on reserve somewhere? I didn't have that last semester.
Well, the professor usually will put a book if they have an extra copy in the library. I was just wondering, because that book is kind of way out of my price range.
Yep.
So if there's do you think the older editions, like the 3rd or the 4th would work, or?
I would imagine if you get the 3rd or the 4th, it would probably be fine.
Okay.
I'm going to have specific pages from the 5th edition.
So it might be a little messed up, but if we came to you.
Yeah, you could check with me or check with one of your classmates and make copies of those pages. That's fine. But the key thing when you're writing out these outlines is make sure they're your own. I want to see it, and there's no real APA format to it, just a structured, detailed outline. And we'll try it for the first 2 weeks and see where it goes. I kind of, before I went away for spring break, for the Christmas break, I was like, okay, what am I going to do for the first 2 weeks of this bizarre, weird hybrid online class? And so I kind of have the first 2 weeks set up. We do the demonstration today, the syllabus, and we talk about some issues. Thursday, it's going to be how a neuron works. Same kind of idea. Next week, we're going to talk about thresholds, which is very much a visual task as well. And then on Thursday, it'll be basically online with visual acuity situations and some book pages that are mapped to that. You could probably, based on what I say verbally in those, if it's nearsightedness or farsightedness, look in the book or find other resources to use to fill out an outline on the basis of that.
Okay.
So kind of just take it as it happens. Other questions, please?
So are most of your lectures going to be based off of what we read in the book?
No.
No?
I like to do things my own way. I've been teaching sensation and perception for a long time. The book will basically supplement that. You'll not be asked to outline huge volumes of things in the book. I didn't do that, I don't think, last semester either. There'll be specific book pages that will map to things, as you'll see even from today, that you might be asked to add a little more detail about. Go ahead.
So the first outline is the 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the first of basically 4 classes, 2 face-to-face, and there'll be 2 online.
When you put the page numbers, when you put a title to them,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you the verbal cues. I won't say pages X, Y, and Z without verbally identifying what those topics are about. Other questions? These are good questions about the syllabus. Okay, I'll start.